Good morning. It's Thursday, February 27th. Here is what we are working on this morning. Oscar-winning actor Jean Hackman and his wife were found dead in their home in New Mexico.
This is Decision Day. People will head to the polls in Ontario's snap election. And Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder bounce back to beat the Brooklyn Nets. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Live on this beautiful Thursday morning. Actually, not too bad. Well, it's beautiful temperature-wise.
Yeah, temperature
but it's got a little bit of rain this morning. Yes. I'm really hoping, Brian, that it rains harder because my car is a mess. All this salt.
Yeah. And the dirty cars everywhere.
Yes. White right now when it's supposed to be black.
Yeah. But we could get some snow, unfortunately. I don't like to say that, but 2 centimeters today, another 2 to 4 centimeters tomorrow, so not a huge whack of snow coming, but enough to go, oh gee, is it still February? Is it still winter? Yes. Even though it's going to be mild. I mean, we're +1 right now, and we are getting some light rain showers because the temperature didn't fall into the minus column overnight. We're still getting that light rain and not the snow. But today, a couple of centimeters possible. Tonight, some flurries. Tomorrow, a couple of centimeters possible. But the temperature will be mild. We're going to hit 4 degrees for the day today. So we'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes. Traffic this morning, nothing to talk about. 403 Waterdown Road. Well, we'll talk about it anyhow because we're here. We're looking at the camera. That's our camera at Waterdown Road area. Looks good. To some MTO traffic cameras. Nikola Tesla Boulevard. On this shot, Toronto bound or going to the Skyway Bridge, heading away from us. Now Toronto bound towards us, and on this one, Toronto bound away from us. So it flip-flops. This is the QEW east of Burloak. Nothing to see there. Be careful on the roads. Could be a touch slippery. We are just above the freezing mark at +1 at the moment. We'll look at weather and traffic coming up in a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Thank you very much, Brian. We start the morning with some breaking news. Oscar-winning actor Jean Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa have been found dead at their home in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Because Corky does it right. Aim's real careful. No hurry. And bam! The Walker Colt blew up in his hand.
Their cause of death has not been confirmed, but it is not believed to be foul play, according to the Santa Fe County Sheriff in New Mexico. In a career that spanned more than 6 decades, Hackman received 2 Academy Awards, 2 BAFTAs, 4 Golden Globes, and a Screen Actors Guild Award. Hackman was 95 and his wife was 63. Emily Vukovic will talk more about the legacy he leaves behind coming up in Chit Chat.
It is Election Day across Ontario after Doug Ford called the snap vote. Polls open in about 3 hours, and Sean Cowan joins us now from a polling station in Burlington. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Annette. That's right. I'm here in downtown Burlington where polls are set to open at 9 a.m. Now, here at the Art Gallery, people can walk over, drive over, and vote today. There are polling stations, obviously, all over Ontario. If you want to find out where you are going to vote, you can go on to Elections Ontario's website, enter in your polling station, or rather, enter in your postal code, and then you can find out where your polling station is. So what to bring with you? Well, you can bring that voter information card, which you may have gotten in the mail, but if you didn't get a voter information card, you can bring your ID and that will be good enough. So polls open at 9 a.m. today and go all the way up until 9 p.m. tonight. Now, yesterday, all of the leaders were out on the campaign trail delivering their key messages.
Who do you trust to have the right priorities? Who do you trust to ensure that you have a family doctor? Who do you trust to ensure that you and your family will get ahead?
It's time. We have to make change. We cannot afford another 4 years of this. So Ontarians have a choice to make. And the Liberals are telling you that they are entitled to your vote.
Folks, we're going to fight like we've never fought before. I'm going to make sure we protect the families, we're going to protect the businesses, protect the jobs, and we're going to protect the community.
If you want to send a message to Doug Ford, stop wasting money on spas and tunnels and start building homes people can afford. Give people a doctor.
And according to a recent poll, the Conservatives are in the lead with 45% of the vote, followed by the Liberals with 29%, the NDP at 16%, the Greens with 5%, and other also at 5%. So the polls close at 9 p.m. tonight, and CHCH News will have a special election coverage this evening. Your home, your vote. We will have reporters all over the area, and we'll have all the results across Hamilton, Halton, and Niagara. Jason Gaidola will be up on the Hamilton Mountain. Eric Viano will be in Niagara Falls, and Manisa Danabalan will be in Oakville and Milton. So all of the election results right here on CHCH tonight. Adam, I'll send it back inside to you.
Thank you very much, Sean. Human remains have been found during a search of a landfill site in Manitoba. Manitoba's premier says the families of 2 murdered Indigenous women have been notified. Searchers have been combing a Winnipeg area landfill for the remains of Morgan Harris and Mercedes Miron. They were among 4 women murdered by a serial killer who was convicted last year.
We don't know which of these 2 families are potentially going to receive the news, or potentially another family that is not even perhaps part of the conversation right now.
The identification process is expected to take a couple of weeks. The search itself was a political issue in Manitoba's 2023 election, with Wab Kinew promising to press forward with it.
This discovery comes as Hamilton police search a rural landfill site. They are expected to take weeks going through waste at the Glenbrick landfill, looking for what they suspect are the remains of 40-year-old Shalini Singh. She and her boyfriend were reported missing in early December. Her boyfriend's been found, and police say he's not cooperating with their investigation. They believe Singh may have been killed in her downtown Hamilton apartment and her remains disposed of through the building's garbage chute. U.S. President Donald Trump said that April 2nd was the day his 25% tariff goes into effect for all Canadian and Mexican imports. Even so, that official date in his executive orders is still March 4th, coming up next week. There is no executive action officially declaring Trump has pushed it any time beyond that. Trump spoke on the issue in his first cabinet meeting of his second White House term.
I'm not stopping the tariffs. No. Millions of people have died because of the fentanyl that comes over the border. We've lost millions of people due to fentanyl. It comes mostly from China, but it comes through Mexico and it comes through Canada. And I have to tell you that, on April 2nd, I was going to do it on April 1st, but I'm a little bit superstitious, so I made it April 2nd. The tariffs go on, not all of them, but a lot of them.
So the White House hasn't commented on the discrepancy over the tariff date. Trump has often spoken very loosely about tariff policy where it concerns implementation, amounts, even products. Many times in his first term as president and a few times in this term, he has promised much stricter policy and then ended up negotiating lower tariffs or no tariffs at all.
All right, taking a look at sports now. Kind of a light night in the NHL, but 3 Canadian teams were in action.
Back up ice come the Jets. Appleton to Niederreiter. Backhand on goal. Puck still loose. Scores! Appleton banks it home after Omar thought he had it, but it was sitting free right beside his pad.
Mason Appleton scored the game winner. Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele also scored as the Winnipeg Jets handed the Ottawa Senators their 5th straight loss. 4-1 was the final. Let's head to Colorado where Nathan MacKinnon had himself a night. Fresh off winning the Four Nations Cup, MacKinnon had 2 goals and a helper as the Colorado Avalanche buried the Devils 5-1. The late game of the night featured the Canucks in L.A. to take on the Kings, and Vancouver coughed up a 2-goal lead in this one, but thanks to a sweet Connor Garland swipe, the Canucks won it in overtime, 3-2. There are a dozen games on tap in the NHL tonight, including 5 Canadian squads. The Habs are hosting Macklin Celebrini and the Sharks at 7. The Flames are taking on Tampa and the Red Hot Lightning. Tampa has won 6 in a row and are creeping up the Eastern Conference standings. Four Nations Cup hero Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers are in Florida to take on the Panthers in a rematch of sorts of last year's Stanley Cup final. Edmonton has dropped 4 straight, and they haven't been close games at all. And at 8, the Winnipeg Jets will be in Nashville to take on the Predators. The Jets are the top team in the entire league with 87 points, 40 more points than the Predators. The late game features the Vancouver Canucks, who were down in Anaheim to take on the Ducks. Anaheim looking to get back in the win column after 2 straight losses. Puck drop for this one is at 10. If you're a fair weather fan or a bandwagon jumper, supporting the Toronto Raptors the last couple seasons has probably been a little bit of a challenge for you, and this year has been especially tough. Losers of 8 of 10, the Dinos were back at it against the Pacers last night. Tyrese Halliburton had 33 points and 11 assists to help the Indiana Pacers beat the Toronto Raptors 111-91. Halliburton was 12 of 15 from the field, going 7 of 9 from three-point range. Miles Turner added 18 points and 10 rebounds, and Pascal Siakam had 15 points. Emmanuel quickly scored 18 points for Toronto. RJ Barrett and Jonathan Magro each had 16. Hamilton's own Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 27 points. Chet Holmgren had 22 and 17 rebounds. And the Oklahoma City Thunder rebounded from a stunning collapse with a game-changing blitz in the fourth quarter to beat the Brooklyn Nets 129-121 on Wednesday night. I'm just kidding. Spring training continues down in Florida, I must say.
He's going to bring in my big hook.
Now, honestly, when I see spring training games, I just feel summer coming. Jays taking on Philly, and Philadelphia scored 5 runs in the 6th inning and handed the Blue Jays their first loss of spring training with a 9-6 victory yesterday afternoon. Philadelphia took the lead in what was a rough 6th inning for Jays pitcher Jacob Barnes and Richard Lovelady. The Blue Jays turned what appeared to be a rout into a close game with a 4-run 9th inning, but it wasn't enough. They're back at it this afternoon against the Orioles. Toko Koga scored early in the second half, and Japan handed the United States its first loss under coach Emma Hayes with a 2-1 victory last night in the She Believes Cup title game. The Americans had not lost since last February when they fell 2-0 to Mexico in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. The loss also snapped the U.S. team's string of 5 titles in the She Believes Cup, now in its 10th year.
All right, coming up on 12 minutes after 6 o'clock, second last day of February, and it's raining. I mean, it's raining fairly heavily in a lot of areas. I've been watching the rain come down on this camera. This is the 403 and Waterdown Road area, and wet roads this morning. And be careful because the temperature is just into the plus side. So no problems there as far as traffic is concerned. Let's go to some MTO traffic cameras, and we'll start in St. Catharines, QEW Ontario Street, very light. Same with Nikola Tesla Boulevard, nothing happening there. Raining here at the QEW at Fairview, getting a little bit busier. East of Royal Windsor, all the way through Cawthra. As you can see, the rain is coming down, and it's starting to slow things down a little bit there, getting some spray coming off the tires. Give yourself a little extra time because that's going to slow things down today. Check our temperature right now. We are on the plus side to start the morning here. We haven't been there in a while. +1. Winds are fairly light from the north-northeast. The relative humidity is right up there at 100% as the rain comes down. Now, that rain could cycle into some snow later on today, so snow is possible. I mean, it looks like it's going to be this morning. We could get maybe a couple of centimeters of snow. It'll be wet snow as the temperature climbs to +4, but there's that chance of some mixing precipitation for the day today. That low-pressure system is going by us, bringing us that instability, and yet another instability area is going to roll by us, and that could bring us 2 to 4 centimeters for the day tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a little bit cooler, but still it's going to be on the plus side for the day. Today, 4 degrees for Niagara, 4 generally around the Horseshoe. There's that 2 to 4 centimeters, and the reason I say 2 to 4 is because Halton, Peel into Toronto could get a little bit more. They do have a special weather statement in effect for a little bit of heavier snow there. Tonight, we get into the minus column, -4, 5, even -7 for the Toronto area into Peel as well. We'll get some flurry activity, and then tomorrow the temperature a little lower, +2 still, but there's that chance of 2 to 4 centimeters again for the day tomorrow before the colder air starts to settle in as we get into March. So out the door, 27th of February, +1 right now. We do have some light rain. Long range coming up. Annette, Adam.
Thank you very much, Brian. Coming up after the break, we'll say good morning to Emily Vukovic with a preview of what's to come in CHCH. Canada is looking to diversify trade with Germany. The U.S. threatens to impose tariffs. Welcome back to Morning Live. It is 6:16. It's just a mess in here today.
Okay, so Emily, catch your breath. You need to pick up your water bottle, which just fell. What else is going off the rails here? Brian, are you okay? Okay.
Let's try this again. Take 2.
I thought you fell to run in again.
Emily just windy here.
Yeah, I'm good. I run in here all the time. It's no big deal. Yeah. All right, welcome back.
What do you have coming up in Chit Chat?
Well, we're starting off with some sad news.
Like really surprising and tragic news.
Yeah, Hollywood has lost 2 stars. We'll take a look back at their legacy coming up. And John Lithgow is joining the cast of the new Harry Potter series, and Oscar host Conan O'Brien rolling out the red carpet for this weekend's award show.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
Literally, yes.
Someone get her some oxygen. Like she just.
I'm good.
She needs an inhaler ASAP.
I'm good.
Just breathe.
All right, the Canadian dollar is up 2 basis points to 69.7 cents U.S. Gold is down $30.40 an ounce, and crude oil is up 69 cents to $69.31 a barrel. Checking midday trading in Europe, markets are up in London, but down in Frankfurt and Paris.
In Asia, markets were up today in Tokyo, down in Hong Kong, and up just a little bit in Shanghai. North American markets, Bay Street had a 100-plus midweek performance lifted by technology and base metals. The Dow lost nearly 200 points, and the Nasdaq was up almost 50.
Canadian companies and diplomats are working with their European colleagues to diversify trade following steep tariff threats from the U.S. Germany's ambassador to Canada says European ambassadors are in Ottawa talking with companies in an effort to boost trade. The comments come ahead of the world's largest trade fair in Germany, where Canada is this year's partner country. Canadian universities are also playing a large role in increasing trade as both countries look to move forward in fields like green energy and quantum computing.
New reports out today show some hard data about the state of the U.S. economy and how it's impacting Americans. They include updates on the gross domestic product, mortgage rates, pending home sales, and jobless claims. So tariffs under President Donald Trump are still a big focus, with 25% duties planned on Mexican and Canadian imports. Exactly when, we're not sure. Tariffs on Chinese goods are already in place, and Trump says reciprocal ones are in the works. Because of these changes, Apple and drug maker Eli Lilly are investing billions of dollars in U.S. manufacturing. A new House resolution proposes spending cuts and tax breaks for Americans, but many are worried that could end up hurting the U.S. economy, especially with so many federal workers being laid off by the new administration.
The founding family of 7-Eleven's Japanese parent company has failed to raise the funds to buy it out. Last year, 7-Eleven rejected a nearly $40 billion bid from Canadian convenience store chain Elimination Couche-Tard, citing the offer's undervaluation of the company. If Couche-Tard succeeds, the deal would likely become the largest foreign-led takeover of a Japanese company. 7&I's stock fell more than 11% yesterday.
Chipmaking giant NVIDIA has exceeded Wall Street's expectations, posting stunning sales and profit growth. Its earnings report for the quarter that ended in January showed NVIDIA brought in nearly $40 billion just in that quarter alone. That's 78% higher than the same period a year before. For the full fiscal year, NVIDIA's profits more than doubled to $74 billion. The company says it's also expected continued growth in the current quarter.
Amazon's Alexa is getting a major upgrade for the AI chatbot era. Alexa Plus was unveiled yesterday, and according to the company, the new Alexa is more conversational and incorporates user personal preferences into answers. Amazon says the revamped version of its popular voice assistant can also handle certain tasks on someone's behalf, like booking concert tickets. Now, the service costs $20 US per month, but will be free for Amazon Prime members with early access coming next month.
Okay, does this mean that my Alexa at home will actually recognize my voice? It only recognizes Daniel's voice, and it makes me so mad.
Yeah, my wife wants to throw it through the wall. You have to keep asking it over and over and over again to do something.
Okay. All
right, taking a break right now. Brian will be back with traffic and your 70 forecast after the break.
We don't have.
Okay, we've made it to Thursday morning, the 27th of February. 6:24 is the time, and you're noticing the roads wet here. We're getting some light rain at the moment. QEW Niagara has no traffic problems, of course, as you look there. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge getting busier. That's just normal volume filling in. East of Burl Oak, we'll flip ahead to Lorne Park. Now, this is getting slow as you head to Mississauga Road and Credit River in the distance, so getting a little bit slow through there. And the 403 at Mavis, look at the spray coming off the tires here, getting some heavier rain through Mississauga at the moment. Take it carefully, please, because our temperatures right now are just into the plus column. So +1 for Hamilton, Grimsby, Mississauga, all the way to 2 degrees for Toronto at the moment. So seasonal temperatures are now +1. Well, that's seasonal daytime high. We're going to climb from there. -7 for the overnight low. Sun times, 6:59 this morning. Sun comes up. Yay! And those are our records for the day today. And we are going to get some mixing precipitation. So for the first bell, +1 degree, we could get some mixing. And there's that snow flurry activity, quite possible. Mixing as well is possible as the temperature climbs to +4 for today. So that is the high. 4 degrees today. Couple of centimeters are possible during the day. -5 overnight. It'll just be flurries. Tomorrow, 2 to 4 centimeters. A little bit cooler, but still on the plus side. +2 for tomorrow. Then we get into the minus column for a few days. Saturday into March, some flurries and -1. -6 only. Look at the overnight lows. -14 and 13. Yeah, it's still winter. And then for Monday, some sun and -2. Then we climb 5 and 8 for Tuesday and Wednesday. That's your forecast. Annette, Adam.
Despite the rain, 8 degrees still sounds nice.
Yeah, it does.
All right, we love our tea on this show, and now it might do more than just taste good.
A new study suggests that brewing tea might actually help purify the water that's in it. Researchers first heated solutions that they'd made from water and concentrations of a number of metals, including lead. Then they added tea leaves or tea bags and steeped them for various periods of time. They found that the tea leaves were able to remove the heavy metals through a process that's called adsorption. In other words, the heavy metal particles stick to or are adsorbed to the surface of the tea leaves. That metal can then be removed when you throw out the tea bag or filter out the leaves. The researchers say more metal was removed the longer they let the tea steep.
Well, if that's the case, then I'd be drinking a lot of lead because my tea bags are basically just dipped in.
Yes.
And pulled out.
Dipped out twice.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
yeah.
I remember.
Yeah,
a little bit of milk and 2 sugars.
You didn't remember the milk last time,
No,
but you can try again today.
Oh, we'll
Redeem
see.
yourself,
You can try
maybe.
with mine too.
All right, time to make some tea right now. We'll be back after the break.
Adsorption.